The cold bite of handcuffs snapped tight around Alex's wrists, yanking him back against the squad car's hood under the flickering streetlight of downtown Seattle's rain-slicked alley. Officer Derek Hale's gloved fingers plunged into the battered backpack like it held contraband gold, pulling out a crumpled envelope sealed with trembling intent. The words, "Chief Harlan Reed, personal and urgent," etched in Alex's own looping script. In that frozen heartbeat, Alex's world cracked open, the letter's secrets, a raw confession of love, loss, and a plea for justice, barreling toward exposure in the hands of a stranger who embodied everything he'd fought against. Rain pelted the asphalt like accusatory whispers as Derek tore open the envelope without a second thought, his broad shoulders hunched against the downpour. Alex strained against the cuffs, his heart hammering a frantic rhythm against his ribs. "That's private," he rasped, voice barely cutting through the storm's growl. "You have no right." Derek's jaw tightened, his blue eyes narrowing under the brim of his cap, scanning the first lines under the dim glow of his flashlight. The words leaped out like bullets. "Chief Reed, if you're reading this, it means I've finally broken. Your son took everything from me, my heart, my trust, and now, maybe my life. But I won't let his shadow bury the truth we shared." Derek's hand faltered, the paper trembling slightly in the wet air. He glanced up at Alex, really seeing him for the first time, not as just another suspicious individual in a queer neighborhood patrol, but as a man whose face was a map of quiet devastation, dark circles under hazel eyes, stubble shadowing a jaw clenched in defiance. Alex was 28, a graphic designer by day and underground activist by night, his lean frame clad in a faded hoodie and jeans that spoke of too many late shifts and not enough sleep. The backpack, slung over one shoulder when they'd cornered him for loitering, held sketches of protest posters, a half-eaten protein bar, and now this, a grenade disguised as stationery. "Step away from the vehicle," Derek barked to his partner, Officer Lena Vasquez, who hovered nearby with her hand on her holster, her Latina features set in professional caution. Lena raised an eyebrow but complied, her boots splashing in a puddle. Derek unfolded the letter fully, the rain smudging the ink just enough to blur edges, but not the pain. It poured out in Alex's voice. Memories of stolen kisses in the Chief's sprawling backyard during college summers, when young Harlan Reed Jr., Harry, to those who loved him, had been Alex's entire universe. Harry, the golden boy cop in training, with his easy laugh and calloused hands from weekend carpentry. Their love had bloomed fierce and hidden, a rebellion against the Reed family's ironclad expectations of legacy and legacy alone. But Harry was gone now, 2 years buried under a cascade of official reports, accidental overdose, during a stressful undercover op. Alex had never bought it. The letter laid it bare, the late-night arguments over Harry's deepening closet, the pressure from his father to man up and marry the department's star female recruit, the way Harry's eyes had dulled like forgotten embers. "He loved me, Chief," Alex had written, the words a desperate anchor. "And I think part of you knew. But your silence killed him as surely as the pills. I'm turning over the evidence tonight, the texts, the photos, the voice notes he left begging for help. Not for revenge. For him. For us all." Derek's stomach twisted, a rare crack in his armored routine. At 32, he'd patrolled these streets for 8 years, badge heavy as regret. Each stop a reminder of the divides he enforced more than he bridged. Born and raised in Tacoma's working-class sprawl, Derek had joined the force to honor his late uncle, a beat cop gunned down in the line of duty. But the job had hardened him, turning empathy into efficiency, until moments like this pierced the shell. He refolded the letter, slipping it into his pocket instead of evidence log. "Vasquez," he called voice low. "False alarm. Kid's clean. Cut him loose." Lena shot him a look that could curdle milk. "Hale, what the hell? We had a tip." Backpack matching the description from that vandalism call. The tip was code for the usual, anonymous bigotry flagging that gay bar crowd after a string of anti-cop graffiti downtown. Alex had been heading to a support group at the Prism, Seattle's oldest LGBTQ+ center, his backpack stuffed with flyers for an upcoming vigil against police brutality in queer spaces. Derek unlocked the cuffs with a click that echoed like freedom's hesitant knock. Alex rubbed his wrists, red welts blooming like accusations. His gaze locked on Derek's face, searching for the motive behind the mercy. "Why?" he asked, voice raw as the rain. Derek met his eyes, something unspoken flickering there, a shadow of shared wounds. "Because some letters aren't for filing cabinets," Derek muttered, handing back the backpack minus the envelope. "Get out of here before I change my mind." Alex snatched the bag and bolted into the night, pulse thundering, the alley shadows swallowing him whole. But as he rounded the corner toward the glowing neon of the prism, he didn't see Derek watching, letter burning a hole in his pocket like contraband contrition. Nor did he know that this single act of rebellion would unravel threads connecting past loves, buried scandals, and a department teetering on the edge of its own prejudices. Inside the prism, the air hummed with the low murmur of folding chairs and styrofoam coffee cups, a sanctuary carved from a converted warehouse where rainbow flags draped like defiant banners. Alex slumped into a seat at the back, backpack clutched like a shield, his best friend Mia sliding in beside him with her trademark no-bullshit glare. Mia was 26, a trans woman of Vietnamese descent whose sharp wit and sharper heels had carried her through foster care hell and into a nursing gig at Harborview. Her black hair was cropped in a pixie cut that framed eyes lined with coal, a armor against the world's stares. "You look like death warmed over," she said, pressing a thermos of chamomile into his hands. "Spill. Was it that creep from the bar again?" "Worse," Alex whispered, glancing around the circle where the group leader, Jordan, a non-binary therapist with salt and pepper locks and a voice like grounded thunder, was starting the check-in. One by one, faces lit by the room's soft lamps shared fragments, a teen grappling with coming out to immigrant parents, an elder reminiscing about Stonewall's echoes in Seattle's first Pride March. When Alex's turn came, the words stuck like thorns. "I got stopped. Again." They found something personal. Mia's hand found his under the table, a lifeline of calloused warmth from her shifts in the ER. After the meeting, as they walked the foggy blocks to Alex's apartment in Capitol Hill, a creaky walk-up shared with two roommates who blasted indie rock till dawn, Mia pried gently. "The letter? To the chief?" Alex nodded, the rain now a misty veil. "Derek Hale, the cop who searched me. He kept it. Didn't log it. Just let me go." Mia stopped under a street lamp, her face a storm of skepticism and spark. "Hale? The guy with the rep for cracking skulls at last Pride? Either he's gone soft, or he's got his own skeletons." Back home, Alex tossed the backpack onto his bed, the room a chaos of sketchpads and half-read queer theory books, posters of Audre Lorde and Harvey Milk peeling at the edges. He paced, mind replaying Derek's eyes, that flicker, not of malice, but of mirrors. What if the cop had read enough to recognize the names? Harry Reid's death had been hushed, but ripples had spread through the community, whispers of cover-ups, of a department protecting its heir apparent at the cost of a son's soul. Alex had hoarded the evidence like sacred relics, planning to deliver it anonymously to the chief's office that very night. Now, with the letter gone, he felt exposed, unmoored. Sleep evaded him, dreams tangled with Harry's ghost, laughing in sun-dappled orchards, then fading into siren wails. By dawn, gray light filtering through blinds, a knock rattled the door. Not his roommates, they were night owls. Hard in throat, Alex peered through the peephole. Derek Hale, off-duty in jeans and a leather jacket, looking less like a cop and more like a man who'd wrestled demons all night. "We need to talk," Derek said through the wood, voice stripped of authority. "About the letter, and why it feels like I've been handed my own damn indictment." Alex's hand hovered on the knob, pulse a wild drum. Opening that door meant crossing a line etched in distrust, but something in Derek's shadowed stance, vulnerable, almost pleading, whispered of alliances forged in fire. He turned the lock, the click a quiet surrender to whatever storm this stranger carried. Derek stepped inside, the apartment's warmth a stark contrast to the chill he'd brought, dripping from his boots onto the threadbare rug. He held out the letter, edges curled from nocturnal readings. "I didn't sleep," he admitted, voice rough as gravel. "Read it 3 times. Harry's name." It hit like a freight train. Alex snatched the paper, fingers brushing Derek's, a spark, unintended, that lingered too long. "You have no idea," Alex said, sinking onto the sagging couch. He was everything, and they buried him like a footnote. Derek hesitated, then sat on the coffee table opposite, elbows on knees, the posture of a confessor. I knew Harry. Not well, training academy overlap. He was the chief's shadow, always perfect. But I saw the cracks. The way he'd zone out during drills, like his mind was 1,000 miles away. A pause, heavy as unshed rain. And you're the ghost he never named. The one that broke him open. Alex's throat tightened, memories flooding. Harry's hand in his under starlit blankets, promises whispered against skin. We met at UW, lit class on Whitman. He quoted Song of Myself, like it was scripture. Said it made him feel seen for the first time. Laughter bubbled, bitter-edged. 2 years of hiding. Then his dad pulls strings for the academy. Be a man, son. Harry tried. God, he tried. The overdose, pills from a precinct locker, ruled accident. But Alex had the proof. Harry's final voicemail, slurred but searing. Dad knows, Alex. About us. He said it'd ruin everything. I can't breathe anymore. Derek leaned forward, eyes dark pools of something Alex couldn't name. Empathy? Guilt? Chief reads my mentor. Pushed me up the ranks after my uncle died. But I've seen the underbelly. The stops like yours, Vasquez, and me just following orders. Last year, a kid, trans, like your friend, got roughed up in holding. Resisting. Bruises said otherwise. He rubbed his neck, a tick of discomfort. That letter. It's dynamite. If it gets out, heads roll. Including mine, for holding it. Then why are you here? Alex challenged, leaning in, their knees inches apart. The air thickened, charged with the unsaid. Derek's gaze dropped to Alex's mouth, then snapped away. Because I'm tired of being the enforcer. And because Harry deserved better. We all do. A beat, then quieter. There's a bar off-duty cops hit. Rusty Anchor. Tonight, 9 p.m. Bring the evidence. I'll get you in. We talk to someone who can make noise without the blowback. Alex searched his face, weighing trust against the chasm of badges and broken backs. Mia's warning echoed, but so did Harry's voice. Love isn't safe, but it's the only fight worth having. Fine, he said finally. But if this is a setup, hail, I'll burn your world down with me. As Derek left, the door's click sealed a pact born of desperation. Alex texted Mia. Cop from last night just left. Says he wants to help expose Reed. Her reply buzzed instant. Playing with fire, babe. Meet for coffee? I'll be your extinguisher. But deep down, Alex felt the pull, not just of justice, but of Derek's quiet intensity, a mirror to his own guarded heart. Little did he know, the rusty anchor held more than intel. It cradled Derek's secret, one that would twist their fragile alliance into a vortex of betrayal and revelation. The rusty anchor squatted on Seattle's waterfront like a forgotten relic, its neon sign buzzing open in fits against the evening fog rolling off Elliott Bay. Inside, the air reeked of stale ale and fryer grease, peanut shells crunching underfoot as off-duty badges clustered around scarred oak tables, laughter booming like thunderclaps. Alex hovered at the threshold, backpack slung tight, feeling the weight of eyes, curious, appraising, slide over him like oil. He was an intruder in enemy territory, his graphic tee with a subtle rainbow pinned the only armor he wore. Derek spotted him from a corner booth, rising with a nod that cut through the din. Over here, he called, voice carrying just enough to draw a few glances. Up close, sans uniform, Derek was disarming. Broad chest filling a flannel shirt, tattoos peeking from rolled sleeves. A compass rose on his forearm, ink faded from time. Drink, he offered, signaling the bartender. Alex slid in opposite, nerves jangling. Just water. And answers. Who's this someone? Before Derek could reply, a figure approached, Lena Vasquez, off-shift in jeans and a mariner's hoodie, her dark curls loose. Alex tensed, hand inching toward his phone's record button. Easy, Derek murmured. She's solid. Trans ally in a department full of dinosaurs. Blew the whistle on a harassment case last spring. Lena dropped into the seat beside Derek, her smile sharp as a switchblade. Heard you had a rough night. Hale here's been moping like a kicked puppy since. What's the play? Alex exhaled, fractionally, and unzipped the backpack, sliding out a thumb drive etched with "For Harry." Recordings. Texts from his burner phone. Photos of bruises. Not from training. but from his old man's lessons. He paused, the booth's dim lamp casting shadows that danced like ghosts. Harry confided in me everything. The chief found out about us during a family dinner. Smashed a bottle, called him weak. Pushed him harder into the job, like it could sweat out the deviance. The overdose. It was after a psych eval the chief rigged to clear him for promotion. Lena's face hardened, fingers drumming the table. Reed's untouchable. Donated half the precinct's new vests. But I've got a contact, internal affairs mole. Owes me for covering her ass on a bad stop. She glanced at Derek, something electric passing between them. Alex caught it, a puzzle piece slotting wrong. The way her knee brushed his under the table, casual but coded. Were they? Derek cleared his throat, sliding the drive into his pocket. We leak it smart. Anonymous drop to the PI press, copy to the Center for Justice. But Reed, he'll sniff it out. You'll need protection. His eyes held Alex's, steady as harbor lights. Stay with me tonight. My place in Ballard. No strings, just till we move. Alex's laugh was half-choked. You? Protect me? Last night you cuffed me. But the offer hung, tempting in its recklessness. Mia's text burned in his pocket. Don't go. Trap. Yet Harry's memory urged forward, a tide pulling him under. One night, he conceded. Then we end this. Derek's apartment was a third-floor walk-up overlooking the ship canal, sparse as a monk's cell. Leather couch, stacks of true crime paperbacks, a guitar gathering dust in the corner. Framed photo on the mantel caught Alex's eye. Derek, younger, arm around a lanky teen with Harry's eyes. Cousin, Derek supplied, seeing the stare. Died by suicide. Hated the world for not seeing him. Really seeing. The words landed soft, a bridge over their chasms. They talked till the witching hour, bourbon loosening tongues. Alex of protest marches where batons met flesh. Derek of locker room slurs endured in silence. Vulnerability crept in like fog, Derek admitting. I questioned everything after your stop. That letter. It was like reading my own unspoken goodbye. Alex reached across, hand on Derek's wrist over the tattoo. Then write a new one. With us. The touch ignited, not fire but embers, slow, searching. Derek's lips met Alex's tentative, a question answered in kind. But as they parted, breathless, a knock shattered the moment. Derek froze, peering out. 2 suits from the station, faces grim. Hail. Open up. Reed wants a word now. Panic surged. The drive, still in Derek's pocket. They know. Alex hissed, grabbing his backpack. Derek blocked the door, mind racing. Back window, fire escape. Go to the prism. I'll stall. Their eyes locked, a vow forged in frenzy. Alex bolted as the door splintered, the night air a slap of betrayal. Below, sirens wailed, but above, in the chase's echo, something new stirred. Not just alliance, but the raw ache of possibility, teetering on the knife edge of exposure. Dawn broke over Ballard like a reluctant witness, painting the canal in bruised purples as Alex huddled in the Prism's back office, Jordan brewing endless tea while Mia paced like a caged panther. I told you, she snapped, though worry softened the edges. Cops don't flip without strings. What's Hale's angle? Alex clutched his phone, screen dark, no word since the raid. The drive was gone, seized, and with it, Harry's legacy. He risked everything. Alex countered, voice frayed. Push me out the window while they kicked in the door. If he's dirty, he's playing long con. Jordan, ever the anchor, slid a chair beside him. Breathe, Alex. We've got backups, your cloud drive, right? We rally the network. Vigils tomorrow, we turn grief to gridlock. Non-binary and 50-something. Jordan had founded the center post Matthew Shepard, their comm a bulwark against storms. But even they faltered when the news alert pinged. Seattle PD officer questioned in Reed scandal leak. Derek's face, mugshot stark. Mia's phone buzzed next. Lena, voice clipped over speaker. He's in holding. Reed's furious, claims Hale's unstable, planted evidence. But I overheard. The chief spooked. Your letter's on his desk, Alex. And there's more. Harry's autopsy? Red flags. Talk screen tampered, per the mole. A pause, heavy. Derek named you as informant. Said he couldn't let it die. They're coming for you next. Alex's blood ran cold, the room tilting. Betrayal? Or sacrifice? He bolted for the door, Mia trailing. Where? She demanded. Station. I end this face-to-face. The drive downtown was a blur of wipers and what-ifs. Capitol Hill's murals, fists raised in rainbow defiance, whizzing past. At the precinct, a fortress of glass and steel, Alex demanded entry, badgeless but burning. Tell Hale I'm here. Tell Reed too. They let him in, curiosity or trap, escorting him to interrogation's sterile chill. Derek sat chained to the table, bruise blooming on his cheek, but eyes alight when Alex entered. You came, he breathed, as guards locked the door. Thought you'd run. Alex slammed the letter down, retrieved from Mia's frantic call to a lawyer ally. Why name me? You could have burned it solo. Derek's smile was crooked, pained. Because it's yours to finish. Harry's truth. And mine, I came out to IA last night. Reed's empire crumbles either way. The words hung, then twisted. A guard burst in, radio crackling. Chief's here. For the kid. Footsteps echoed, heavy as judgment. Harlan Reed filled the doorway like a thunderhead, 60, silver-haired, uniform crisp as his conscience wasn't. His eyes, Harry's eyes, raked Alex with glacial disdain. You, he growled. The poison that rotted my boy. No preamble. He snatched the letter, veins bulging. This fantasy ends now. Harry's death was weakness, not my doing. Alex rose, voice steel. Weakness. You drove him to it. The eval you faked, the pills you ignored. I have the files, emails from your account, approving the cover. Bluff? Half true. The cloud drive was en route via Mia. But Reed blanched, a crack in the facade. Derek strained against cuffs. It's over, Chief. Let it go. Fury erupted. Reed lunged, fist connecting with Derek's jaw in a sickening thud. Traitor! Chaos reigned. Guards pulled him back, Alex shouting for medics, heart splintering at Derek's slumped form. In the melee, Reed's phone slipped, screen lighting a text. Handle the loose end. J. Initials Mia would recognize. The department shrink who'd signed off on Harry's accident. As order restored, Reed cuffed and led away sputtering denials. Alex knelt by Derek, thumb brushing his split lip. You idiot, he whispered, tears hot. Worth it. Derek's eyes fluttered open, hand finding Alex's. Starting now? Yeah. Medics swarmed, but in that sliver, love's tentative bud pushed through concrete. Fragile, fierce. Word spread like wildfire through Seattle's queer veins. The vigil swelled to thousands, candles flickering against the Space Needle's silhouette, chants of justice for Harry, merging with no more silence. Alex stood at the makeshift stage, Mia's arm linked in his, Lena flanking with a megaphone. Jordan invoked ancestors, their voice weaving history's threads. But the true shock came mid-speech. Derek, released on bail, limping through the crowd, badge surrendered but spirit unbroken. He climbed on stage uninvited, mic in hand. I was blind, he said, voice raw over the PA. Enforced lines I couldn't cross myself. Harry taught me that, through Alex. We rebuild, together. The roar deafened, hugs engulfing them. Offstage, in the press of bodies, Alex pulled Derek close, foreheads touching. Your cousin's compass, he murmured, tracing the tattoo. Point's true now. Derek's laugh rumbled low. To you. Always. Twists lingered, trials looming, prejudices festering. But in that embrace, under rainbow-streaked skies, they claimed their story, not ended, but rewritten, one defiant heartbeat at a time. Yet peace was illusion, shadows stirred. Weeks later, as indictments loomed, an anonymous package arrived at the Prism. Photos of Harry and Alex, intimate, time-stamped post-overdose. Blackmail? Or ghost gift? Mia's sleuthing traced it to Lena's ex, a bitter sergeant with Reed ties. Confrontation brewed in a dimly lit diner, accusations flying like shrapnel. You played us, Alex accused, but Lena's tears cracked the narrative. I loved her, him then. He couldn't handle my transition. It's his revenge, dragging us all down. Derek, ever the bridge, mediated. We expose it. Full circle. The leak hit Blog's Dawn's light, shattering the last veils. Trials unfolded in headlines. Reed's empire dust, but redemption's arc bent toward healing. Alex and Derek's bond deepened in quiet nights. Shared sketches of protest art, guitar lessons halting but heartfelt. Mia found her own spark, a fellow nurse at the vigil whose gentle persistence wore down walls. 1 year on, at the canal's edge, Alex proposed, not ring, but promise, a joint art show, letters unsealed, proceeds to suicide prevention. Derek knelt instead, compass glinting. Marry the mess? Laughter echoed. Yes, a vow against voids. In America's fractured heart, their love stood sentinel, tense, tender, triumphantly twisted from tragedy's loom. The courtroom in Seattle's federal building gleamed under fluorescent severity, mahogany benches polished to a mirror sheen that reflected the gallery's tense faces like distorted accusations. Alex sat in the front row, fingers laced with Derek's, the calluses on the ex-cop's palm a grounding rasp against his own artist's smoothness. 6 months since the raid, and Harlan Reed's trial for obstruction, tampering, and manslaughter by negligence had distilled their saga into legalese, each testimony a scalpel carving deeper into old wounds. Today, the prosecution called Alex to the stand, his name echoing off marble like a summons to judgment. Sworn in, hand on Bible he barely believed in anymore, Alex faced the jury, 12 strangers, a cross-section of Seattle's soul, a black single mom, a tech bro with earbuds dangling, an elder with veteran's poise. The ADA, a sharp-elbowed woman named Patel, slid him a photo. Harry, grinning at a department picnic, arms slung casual over nothing, the absence a ghost. Mr. Donovan, she began, voice steady as Seattle drizzle. Describe your relationship with Harlan Reed Jr. Alex swallowed, the gallery's eyes pricking like needles. Mia in the back, her nod a beacon, Lena beside her, notebook frantic. Harry was my first love. We met sophomore year at the University of Washington, bonded over poetry slams in the quad. He was out to me from week 1, terrified, but brave. Said his dad's expectations were a cage, but with me, he could breathe. Voices murmured. The judge, a stern Latino with silver streaks, rapped for quiet. Alex pressed on, detailing stolen weekends in the Cascades, Harry's sketches of future lives, him as detective, Alex illustrating children's books on acceptance. Then the academy. Alex continued, voice cracking like thin ice. He changed. Calls went unanswered. Texts turned cryptic. Dad's watching. I found bruises once. Sparring accident, he lied. But the night he broke? Rainy evening, my dorm. He sobbed, showed me the psych eval. Clean bill, but forged. His dad had pulled strings, buried red flags. Patel leaned in. And the voicemail? Alex nodded. The recording cued. Harry's voice, slurry with pills and pain. Alex, it's over. He knows. Said I'd never be chief's son if we love you. Always. Sobs from the gallery. Reed, shackled at the defense table, stared stone-faced, but his knuckles whitened on the rail. Cross-examination gutted him. Reed's lawyer, a slick Ivy type, pounced. Mr. Donovan, isn't it true you were unstable? Radical activist, arrested at 3 protests. Perhaps this evidence is fabricated grief. Alex's temper flared, hazel eyes flashing. Grief doesn't forge emails from the chief's server. Or tamper talks reports. Ask your client why Harry's burner pinged his phone hours before the accident. The lawyer blanched, objection overruled. As Alex stepped down, Derek squeezed his hand, whisper fierce, proud. Recess brought chaos, reporters swarming the hall, flashes popping like gunfire. Mia pulled Alex into a stairwell, her hug bone-crushing. You slayed, babe. But Reed's team, dirty. Heard they're digging your past, Mia's transition records, even Lena's ex's alibis. Paranoia prickled, the blackmail photos from months back still haunted, a serpent uncoiling. We're in it, Alex said, resolve hardening. For Harry. Afternoon brought Derek's turn, his testimony a thunderclap. In uniform no more, he stood tall, compass tattoo flexing as he gestured. I searched Alex Donovan on a tip, routine, or so I thought. The letter. It humanized the enemy, showed me the department's rot. He detailed the raid, Reed's rage, the slipped text implicating the shrink. Chief Reed built a wall of silence. Harry climbed it, fell hard. I couldn't let Alex fall too. The jury leaned in, the tech bro wiping eyes. Defense hammered. Biased lover now, Officer Hale? Your resignation, convenient. Derek's retort. Love opened my eyes. Cowardice kept them shut too long. As court adjourned, storm clouds gathered outside, mirroring the turmoil. Derek and Alex retreated to a cafe in Pioneer Square, steam rising from lattes like unspoken fears. What if they acquit? Alex murmured, stirring froth into oblivion. Derek's foot nudged his under-the-table, intimate anchor. Then we fight streetside. Petitions, art installs, your wheelhouse. Alex managed to smile, but doubt gnawed. Recent anonymous calls, hang-ups with breathing heavy as threats. Was it Reed's remnants, or something closer? Night fell heavy, their Ballard apartment a haven of low lights and takeout tie. Curled on the couch, Derek's head in Alex's lap, fingers tracing scars, emotional maps. Remember our first real date? Post-vigil, that hole-in-wall taqueria. Alex chuckled, threading hair. You spilled salsa on your ex-badge. Said it was karma. Laughter faded to quiet. I love you, Derek said, sudden as summer rain. Not the hero version, the whole mess. Alex's heart swelled, kiss sealing it. But as they drifted to bed, a shadow flitted past the window. Paranoia, or predator? Morning shattered illusions. Mia's call, frantic. Lena's missing. Last seen tailing a lead on the shrink. Reed's fixer. Her car's at the docks, abandoned. Panic clawed. They raced to the waterfront, fog cloaking cranes like conspirators. Police tape fluttered, irony bitter, uniforms milling. A detective, gruff veteran, briefed. Vasquez texted coordinates, then nada. Note in the glove box. Truth dies silent. Alex's blood iced, the blackmailer striking back. Derek's face paled, old instincts surging. Her ex, Sergeant Klein. I know his haunts. They split. Alex to the prism for Jordan's network, Derek underground. Hours blurred into dread. Tips from barflies. Dead ends and alleys reeking of fish and regret. Dusk brought breakthrough. Mia's hack on traffic cams. Klein's truck fleeing the wharf. Chase ensued. Sirens whooping as Derek tailed. Alex and passenger, hard in throat. Confrontation at an abandoned cannery. Rust flaking like scabs. Klein, burly with hate's red flush, held Lena at knife point, her lip bloodied but eyes defiant. Stay back, he bellowed, blade nicking her throat. This queer plague ends. Reed was right. Derek talked him down, voice steady as psych training. It's over, man. Department's purging. Let her go. Face it clean. Alex flanked, phone live streaming to allies. Klein wavered, knife dropping as SWAT breached, tears mixing with curses. Lena collapsed into hugs, wound shallow. He confessed, she gasped. The photos? His. Framed to discredit. And the autopsy? Reed ordered the swap. Evidence avalanche. Klein flipped, Reed's conviction sealed. In the aftermath, hospital vigil, Alex held Derek's hand, exhaustion bonding them deeper. We're unbreakable now, he whispered. Derek nodded, his forehead soft. Twists turned tides. Love, once shadowed, blazed free. Rebuilding bloomed slow, petals of therapy and trust. Alex's exhibit, unsealed, packed galleries, canvases of fractured badges mended with rainbow welds, Harry's poetry etched in gold leaf. Derek volunteered at the Prism, teaching de-escalation to wary youth. Mia mentored trans recruits, her heels clicking confidence. Lena, promoted, spearheaded reform. Yet scars lingered, nightmares of cuffs and canvases aflame. One stormy eve, as thunder rolled, Alex confessed doubts. What if it's never safe? Derek pulled him close, heartbeat sync. Safe's a lie, but us? We're the revolution. Proposal followed, ring simple, compass engraved, true north. Wedding small, prism altar under flags, vows echoing. Through storms, we steer. Years wove forward, children adopted, twins with Mia's fire, Lena's steel. Activism evolved, policy wins, books penned. But core remained. That letter, catalyst of chaos and catharsis, framed on mantle. In quiet moments, Alex read it aloud, Harry's voice alive. Love's drama, they learned, thrived not despite conflict, but through it, endless, electric, eternally theirs. Echoes of the trial faded into Seattle's relentless rhythm, but for Alex, normalcy was a fragile construct, pieced from late-night sketches and Derek's steady presence. Their home in Ballard had evolved, a nursery corner for the twins, walls alive with collaborative murals. Derek's bold lines framing Alex's fluid colors, themes of resilience in abstract swirls. Yet, beneath the domestic hum, undercurrents stirred. Anonymous emails trickled in, veiled threats from loyalists decrying the purge. Alex deleted them, but sleep grew fitful, dreams replaying Reed's snarl. Mia noticed first, over brunch at a Capitol Hill cafe, her new fiancé, Nurse Tom, gentle giant with a beard like a hug, distracting the kids with airplane bites of waffle. "You're hollowing out," she said, piercing. "Post-trial blues. Or that stalker vibe." Alex shrugged, chasing peas across his plate. "Paranoia. Department's cleaning house, but grudges die hard." Tom leaned in, voice low. "I've got a buddy in cyber. Scan your accounts?" Gratitude swelled. Family, forged in fire, unbreakable. Derek, now a private consultant training forces nationwide on bias, traveled often. His absence amplified shadows, a flat tire / deliberate, flyers on their door with slurs crossed out in red. One night, alone with the twins' soft snores filtering from monitors, Alex paced the kitchen, phone in hand. "Call to Lena. Anything on the emails?" Her reply crackled, precinct bustle behind. "Tracing. Looks like a ghost account, but breadcrumbs to an old Reed crony. Retired captain, bitter as bile." Comfort thin, Alex bolted doors, checked windows, heart echoing hollow. Dawn brought Derek home, suitcase thumping like punctuation. He found Alex at the easel, brush furious across canvas, storm clouds devouring a lighthouse. "Talk," Derek urged, arms encircling from behind, chin on shoulder. "The dam broke, fears poured, vulnerabilities bared. What if they take you away? The kids? This life we clawed for?" Derek turned him, eyes fierce. "They won't. We're louder now, advocates, not victims." He knelt, pulling a velvet box, not ring, but keychain compass. "For the road. Points home." Resolution sparked action. Join up with Lena's team, cyber dive unmasking the harasser. A disgraced sergeant nursing bar tabs and bigotry. Arrest swift, confession tear-streaked. "Reed was father to us. You stole him." Pity mingled with justice. Therapy mandated, chains broken. Alex exhaled, weight lifting like fog burn off. Summer brought balm. Family road trip to the Olympics. Tents pitched under ancient cedars. Twins toddled, chubby hands clutching pine cones. Mia and Tom roasted esmores, stories spinning tall. Evenings by fire, Derek strummed guitar, voice gravelly on folk tunes of outlaws and lovers. Alex sketched the scene, capturing the golden hour glow on faces. Love's quiet climax, no drama needed. But twists lingered subtle. A letter arrived, postmarked unknown. Harry's handwriting mimic. "Keep fighting." Forgery? Or closure's gift from an anonymous ally. They framed it beside the original, talisman of endurance. In autumn's turn, Alex's book launched, Ink and Badge, A Love Against the Line. Bestseller in niche circles, forward by Jordan. Readings packed, Q&A raw. "How do you forgive?" Alex's reply, "Not forgive. Transcend." Winter solstice, anniversary eve, Derek planned surprise. Rooftop under stars, blanket fort of memories, photos, voicemails transcribed. "To us," he toasted with hot cider. Alex clinked, tears pricking. Endless chapters. Snow flurried, blanketing doubts. Their kiss, slow as seasons, sealed renewal. Life's narrative, they knew, looped eternal. Conflicts conquered, affections amplified, forever unfolding. Spring unfurled in Seattle like a hesitant promise. Cherry blossoms dusting Capitol Hill sidewalks as Alex prepped for the twins' third birthday. A bash at the Prism, balloons bobbing like buoyant hopes. The center had expanded under Jordan's vision. New wing for youth counseling, walls murals by local queer artists, including Alex's commission, a phoenix rising from shattered shields. Yet, as he taped streamers, a call from Lena Jared, reads appealing. "New evidence claim," says Harry's journal exonerates him. Stomach nodded. The journal, long lost, Harry's private scrawls. Derek arrived early, hauling cake tears, his consultant gig wrapping a DC seminar on inclusive policing. "Ignore it," he said, kissing Alex's temple amid chaos. His Hail Mary. Our lawyers got teeth. Mia, directing games with Tom, overheard, rolling eyes. Old man's desperate. But appeals drag, stress city. The party pulsed joyful. Kids shrieking at piñata bursts. Elders sharing Stonewall tales. Lena DJing anthems that shook rafters. In lulls, Alex caught Derek watching. Gaze soft with unspoken anchors. Post-party cleanup unearthed the twist. A journal slipped into the gift pile, leather-bound, Harry's initials embossed. Alex's hands trembled opening it. Pages filled with sketches, poems, confessions. Dad's pressure crushes. One entry read, dated weeks pre-death. Alex's light. If I go, tell him I fought. But buried deeper. Chief knows. Forgave? Or feigned? Meeting shrink tomorrow. In this charade. Forged? Authentic? Carbon dating rushed via Ally Lab confirmed era. Ink analysis pending. Confrontation brewed. Family powwow at their kitchen table. Twins napping upstairs. Bait. Derek growled, flipping pages. Planted to muddy appeal. Mia nodded, fierce. Or real. Harry hedging bets. Lena arrived, badge gleaming. I'll push forensics. But if legit, it indicts the shrink harder. Suicide note disguised. Debate raged, emotions cresting. Alex's grief raw. He doubted me at end? Derek pulled him aside, balcony overlook. No. Doubted the system. Us. Eternal. Ink verdict landed midweek. Genuine, smuggled by Harry's academy buddy. Guilt-ridden, anonymous till now. Appeal crumbled. Reed's sentence hardened. A quiet incarceration in federal gray. Closure's sigh rippled. Therapy sessions for Alex. Unearthing buried resentments. Derek's memoir outline. From cuffs to compass. Community healed incremental. Prism fundraisers swelling. Policy briefs co-authored. Summer solstice brought pivot. Adoption finalized for a teen foster, Jamie, non-binary, street smart with poetry soul. Home swelled chaotic, lessons in patience. Alex mentored art, Derek boundaries. Mia Annie supreme, spoiling with books. Conflicts arose domestic. Jamie's rebellion, testing limits like Harry's once did. World hates us. They spat one night, post-fight. Alex knelt, journal in hand. Hated him too. But we rewrite. Vulnerability bridged. Family mosaic. Cracks gilded. Fall harvest. Book tour for Derek's release. Sold out in San Francisco. Cheers thundering. Alex joined. Twins with grandparents. Reclaiming narratives coast to coast. Q&A intimate. Love and line of fire. Derek. It's the fire. Back home. Harvest moon walk. Hands linked. Our plot thickens. Alex quipped. Derek's grin. Best kind. Winter's hush. Gifted reflection. Holiday lights. Twinkling prism tree. Carols queer infused. Gathering vast. Lena's wedding to a prosecutor. Vows fierce. Alex toasted. To twists that turned toward light. Derek's arm tightened. Future beckoned. Boundless. Word count for this section, approximately 1,000. Emphasis on family expansion, legal closures, and emotional maturations. Autumn leaves carpeted Ballard paths in crimson defiance as Alex balanced exhibit deadlines with Jamie's school runs, the teens' evolving style. A mix of thrift punk and self-stitched pride, mirroring their own journey's patchwork. Derek's consulting boomed, seminars from Portland to Philly, but homecomings grew poignant, suitcases unpacked with tales of breakthroughs, a rural force ditching slurs, inspired by their story. Yet, under hearth's glow, Fishers hinted, Jamie's therapy unearthed foster scars, lashing out at perfect parents. You fixed your mess, they accused one dinner, fork stabbing potatoes. Mine's forever. Alex's heart ached, echoes of Harry's self-doubt. Not fixed, mended. Daily. Derek mediated later, backyard fire pit crackling. We listen, not lecture. Like I did with you. Vulnerability's circle formed. Weekly shares, tears, and triumphs. Mia joined virtual. Her pregnancy glow a beacon. Anti 2.0 incoming. Bonds knit tighter, conflicts catalysts. November brought bombshell. Lena's unit uncovered Reed network remnants. A slush fund for loyalty payoffs. Klein's blackmail, just tip. Raid on a waterfront safehouse yielded docs implicating more brass. Derek testified again, voice seasoned. Silence was complicity. No more. Media frenzy reignited. Their home, a brief bunker. Reporters at gates, but community shield. Neighbors with pies. Prism volunteers patrolling. Through siege, Alex channeled. Mural series, Veins of Valor. Portraits of queer cops like Lena, veins pulsing rainbow. Opening night packed. Jamie unveiling their piece, a fractured heart mending. For us outliers, they said, voice steady. Applause thundered. Derek's pride shone, hand in Alex's. December's chill ushered pivot. Jamie's first crush, a classmate shyly out. Guidance gentle, Alex sharing hairy tales sanitized. Love's leap, worth the fall. Derek added, timing's yours. We're net. Teens bloom tentative, trust earned. Holidays heartfelt. Twins chaos, Mia's baby shower hybrid. Gifts wrapped in recycled comics. Toast to resilience. New Year's Eve, rooftop with lanterns. Wishes whispered. Peace, passion. Derek's, more you. Alex's kiss answered. Spring renewal, Jamie's poem published, youth anthology star. Alex's grant for Prism Arts program, Derek co-facilitator. Conflicts softened. Teens rebellion to collaboration, art jams healing. Summer's heat wave tested. Family campout, tents sweltering, stories under stars. Ghost of threats faded, replaced by laughter's echo. Our epic, Derek murmured, fireflies dancing. Alex, unfinished. Perfect. Falls palette inspired. Joint book, hearts in harness, blending memoirs. Launch tour intimate, readings raw. Q&A regrets? None. Only not sooner. Winter's embrace, twin schoolbound, Jamie collegebound dreams. Gathering at Prism, tree-trimmed collaborative. Vows renewed casual, still yes. Love's arc, they embraced. Dramatic depths plumbed, heights scaled, eternally entwined. Years layered like Seattle's fog, thickening legacies while thinning edges of youth. Alex at 35, laugh lines etching stories. Derek's temples silvering like wisdom's frost. The twins, boisterous at 8, staged puppet shows of their saga. The letter cops. Jamie, 16 and thriving, edited zine on trans narratives, bylines bold. Home pulsed vibrant, walls evolving murals, kitchen debates on ethics over stir-fry. Yet, high tide of harmony crested challenges. Derek's burnout, seminar grind eroding sleep. I'm the hypocrite, he confessed one dawn, coffee black as mood. Preach balance, live chaos. Alex listened, then acted. Sabbatical proposed. Road trip cross-country. Routes retraced, from Seattle's damp to Midwest plains where Derek's uncle fell. Stops at queer landmarks. Stonewall echoes in NYC. Black trans memorials in D.C. conversations cathartic. Ruts reforged. Return brought bloom. Derek's podcast launch. Badge and beyond. Guests from Mia's ER tales to Lena's precinct wins. Alex guested, voice weaving arts role. Listeners surged, feedback fuel. You saved my coming out. Mia's twins arrived, Auntie Judy's doubled. Sleepovers chaotic, wisdom shared. Lena's mayoral run loomed. Campaign fierce, family canvassed, signs waving. Twist, smear ad dredging old scandals, but counter with testimonials. Alex's op-ed viral. Past fuels progress. Jamie's prom drama. Date nerves, identity queries. Alex's advice. Dance your truth. Derek's suit ironing ritual, awkward tender. Night's photos, joy captured. Anniversary milestone. Vow renewal at Canal, sunset sail. Guests intimate. Jordan officiating, toasts tearful. Through tempests, Derek vowed. Alex, to calms earned. Legacy projects. Prism endowed chair in Harry's name, scholarships for queer youth. Alex's graphic novel adaptation, panels pulsing emotion. Derek's TEDx, love's line of duty. Conflicts crested gentle now. Twins tween angst, therapy tuning. Jamie's gap year abroad, launch emotional. Airport hugs, promises pinging. Decades mark, gala for reforms, speeches soaring. Alex, from backpack breach to breached walls, we won. Derek's arm, anchor eternal. Twilight walks, hands clasped. Next chapter? Alex, ours. Fade to embers, story's heart undimmed. Love's suspense eternal, climax in every dawn.